Let's talk about some hypocrisy in Washington. Let's turn our attention to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who, of course, is up for re-election in November. Now, early on in her career, there was a lot of hope among progressives, myself included, who thought, wow, she's going to go in there and she's going to say enough of these wars, enough of all of this money going to military-industrial complex. We have a broken healthcare system. We're going to shake things up. We're going to shake up the leadership. We're going to tell Nancy Pelosi where to stick it where the sun don't shine, all of those things. Well, she has done the exact opposite of that. And almost on every line, and it really comes down to the votes, right?
Yes.
For Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it comes down to the votes specifically. So it's fun to go out on Twitter or TikTok or wherever else she publishes these videos or Instagram and talk a good game about what she plans to do. But then when it comes time to vote, right, you could have forced the vote on Medicaid. You could have actually stopped. You could have really forced the hand on of minimum wage increase. You could have forced the hand on stimulus money. You could have done so many things.
College debt, any of these things,
But
right?
you didn't.
Well, she did sort of issue an ultimatum 2 years into her time in office and say, look, Nancy Pelosi, we'll go along with what you want, but if progressive issues don't really start to rise to the top, you're going to see us run amok and really start to run our mouth and break away from the party. That was nice that she said it.
And then you have the squad.
And she can point back to having said that, but not having done it.
Right. It's one thing. It's because, you need to be in lockstep. These guys all need to be in lockstep. Otherwise, you don't get committee assignments. You don't get any of that stuff. And that's exactly what's happening here. You get marginalized. You get pushed out. And no one wants to talk to you. You become a pariah if you're not. You don't play ball.
Well, I do feel like she's kind of like danced around the things that she said she would do.
Yeah,
like,
but that's not good enough.
Clearly, it's not, right?
And
especially not with the power that she's got in terms of like likability and social currency. She has a lot of that. She did introduce a bill just last year to stop sending funds to, say Israel and other, in other conflicts. But when it came to the big mama, right, the whole banana split, she voted in favor of all the money for Ukraine.
So here she is this week issuing this video. And this is what caught a lot of people upset, myself included. So she comes out and she's now, because she's running for re-election, she now issues this video on TikTok or wherever it was, where she's really slamming the idea of the American hegemony. America has become not a democracy, an oligarch. And as if she says this with a straight face, as if she's not involved in the oligarchy. Listen.
And it also cuts to the basic structure of our democracy, if you can call it that. Because when you have a presidency that's not determined by a popular vote, when you have a Senate where tens of millions of people more can vote for one candidate, one party, and still be in the minority, where even in the House of Representatives that's supposed to represent our population, that it gets gerrymandered to all hell once every 10 years in order to ensure an outsized minority rule and voice in both the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It is becoming increasingly difficult for people to defend the stance that we live in a democracy, in a true one. And what the real truth of the matter is when you look at the fact that our elections are bought, that corporations and lobbies, powerful corporate lobbies, have more say in our legislation than everyday people, we are living in oligarchy that has its democratic moments.
Yeah. So you're preaching to the choir, right? So we're living in an oligarchy. We're living with corporatists who are running the show in Washington, right? Big corporate leaders and lobbyists who you just funneled an additional $40 billion to line their pockets last week in a big vote that you could have stood up and said, no, we, the squad, I'm not going to speak for the other squad members, but we should all stand up, right? We're the progressive squad that won because we said no. We want environmental change. We want to make sure that people have health care. We don't want corporatists running Washington.
No, they don't want environmental change if they vote for guns. You just don't, right? Like if you vote for weaponry that's going to destroy the planet, no, you don't.
Right, especially when we see the footprint of the military being the largest contributor to environmental degradation. So yes, she attempted to separate herself from these legislative masses in all of this, complaining that Democrats, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. You have an opportunity to make a change. You could have voted against this. You could have stood up on the floor and rallied your Democratic caucus members and said, we will not support war anymore. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, girl, we put you in there because we already saw the flaw with the system, right?
So you're preaching to the choir.
We thought you were going to do different.
Right.
So to sort of rally against the way it's all set up, when you're on the inside, it strikes as, it's like you lost the opportunity, you lost the right to sort of complain about the system once you join the system if you haven't done anything to disrupt the system. She's
almost voted in lockstep with the party almost at every level. At every level. And I lost total faith in her back when we were going through, first of all, when we were going through the minimum wage battle, we were going through the Medicare battle, we're going through the stimulus battle. Like, it's okay for us to funnel money to war zones and the military industrial complex. We can absolutely vote on those quickly and get those right through. But when it comes to actually helping people, we can't do that. She voted for increased military budgets and over all of the policies that she ran on, Medicare for all, student loan forgiveness. She's voted against that. So who are you lecturing in this video?
It is a smart political play, right? When you haven't actually been as progressive as you promised, to sort of come around the other side of the table and be like, system sucks, right? And it's like, but you are not on this side of the table anymore. Go back to your side and answer for it.
Like, hey, what are you doing on our side of the table here? We know that the system sucks. That's why you were elected, because the system sucks. Why are you pretending that you care on our side
We
now?
call shenanigans on your shenanigans.
Well, it's like Bush running for reelection, George W. Bush against John Kerry. It's like his message basically was, let us finish this. Like, let us finish this. And that was their appeal, basically, to soccer moms in Ohio and beyond, which was like, let us finish the mess that we started. Was basically the appeal, and you'll be safer with us going in Afghanistan and Iraq. Like, even though it's a total quagmire, you'll be safer with us. And somehow it worked. So maybe you're right, and maybe this will work, and maybe people are stupid enough to vote for it again or fall for it. She's going to come around to our side of the table, and she'll make all sorts of promises and platitudes up and now through November.
Yeah.
She'll get reelected, and then she'll do the exact same thing all over again.
Yes.
That's what they do. Let us know if we're wrong. Are we wrong? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. We've been banned, we've been blocked, we've been censored. That's why we started our own website, to stay connected with you for free.
That's right. So head on over to redacted.inc and make sure you're connected with us. You can sign up again at redacted.inc, not .com.